What's going on out there? What do you think about my doo-doo dreads? He wanted to hear from me. I said, ma'am, here's how the story is going. I told him I was one for burning ships. And I'm going to talk to you about the holy number 22. And where I am today, for those of you who followed me the past 7 years, 6 years, on the 7th year, we're not there yet, but I'm homeless, man. I'm fucking homeless, and trying to get the unemployment. I can't get the jobs because I look like shit. I mean, I'd probably do well in a mosh pit or a fucking rock and roll band, but right now I kind of look like shit. And the COVID thing just kind of fuck with people's heads. That's how that goes. Is I see a guy like me and I think that guy's dirty. You know, I don't think I'm dirty. I mean, I don't seem to have the symptoms of the virus, but just the appearance of the guy, he ain't got no place to take a shower. Like, for example, they don't have any showers out there. If you look in my playlist, I've got some videos down there. Bare bones coming from rock bottom in Mississippi. There was a lot of that I couldn't reveal, and I feel like I'm really missing out on some rich content. I had some great content I wanted to bring you. And I didn't bring it for security reasons. So it's like, well, are you a puss? I said, I don't have the financial security. I don't have the security to do right now. It's a milkshake. I drink your milkshake culture. You do the work. It's a warranty deed. Or you can quit claiming your deeds if you really want to be a homeowner. I mean, I'm sure a lot of these people, they beg to differ. I mean, they do well. They make it. So maybe it's just a hoax. Maybe it's just a trick. I don't like talking about it. I think it's a gift, but it's a curse. So how it seems to be is there's a covert war going on, and it's overt in the sense that it's right fucking there. But if you do anything about it, you're dead. I mean, you're dead before you move. So, you know, you can ride and enjoy the ride, which isn't so bad. And I tell these people, I said, I'm tired of being censored. We're not being censored anymore. A lot of them don't like what I say. And because they don't like what I say, they decide to censor me. And for a guy that's been censored for, this is going on the 2nd year at Facebook, I can't get in. And then 5th year on Amazon, we still can't get in. So, I mean, the internet seems to be, if you can imagine, like a pyramid, but it's not a pyramid, it's a diamond, in a sense that emanates outward and radiates outward like light. A lot of people don't buy into my shit because it's too radical. And I'm telling you, I've been dialing down on my physics. I had to crack down back when I lived in the ghetto. You know, I was really being a real, you know, I was teaching I loved the kids. I loved the people. I brought them basketball goals, soccer balls. I brought them books. I brought them computers, you know, but at the same time, I brought them booze tube and some of the other stuff. And then they saw my private life, and my private life was real dirty. And when they started really digging into my private life is when I felt terrible, because they were starting to quote unquote sin. I don't know if that makes any sense, but I was fucking kids' lives up. Now, I'm not gonna spare the rod and spoil the child. I mean, fuck, if they watch the shit, that's fine. Daddy deadbeat can be a deadbeat. Could you imagine the pain? of not being able to see kids, and I don't mean it like that. I mean, that's a natural thing. Of course I've sinned. I'm out. And I'm not saying sin or judging people. It's just, there were a few things that I did that I never want to go to again. And I got out. And then now you look around and it's like, whoa, I really didn't get to do anything. These people are sawing people up with chainsaws and massacring and turning the whole place into AI fryer. And I'm just, when you see it, you get cold. You get real cold. You get immobilized. You get numb. And it's hard. Like, it was brought to my attention that, I get real low. And some people were getting real low. And I wasn't trying to make them low like that. It just, I was real low. They wanted to hang out with me. And I'm like, you probably not going to want to hang out with me too long because, I'm going to make you feel real low. And I got to that point where it's hardening. If you go in there, harden, back when we had the thing, is I told them, you've got to harden. Otherwise, you're going to soften. And I'm back on the bare bones from Mississippi bullshit. I found out I'm kind of a tough guy, and I'm a lot tougher than I think. And a lot of pipsqueaks, they're too fucking small. Like, I traipse all over them, and they don't ever say anything. Because either they don't have the balls, or the guts, or the giblets, for our ladies out there. They're not going to report to me my violations. And I tell them, I said, report to me the fucking violations, man. Report to me the violations, and I'll work on it. But if you're not going to report the violation, don't expect me to work on it. I mean, I can try to work on it, and then you go mad. You become a mind reader. And you just wind up predicting everything everyone does, and then it turns into some... probably wouldn't have it. He'd probably hang himself. Freud can't deal with it. And it's pushed me. You see, my arms are cut up. And I don't advise people to do that. Sometimes it's just a fashion. I told him, everybody asks me about the suicide. What's up with the suicide? And as a man that's been there so many times, I tell him, hold out if you want, because you're going to die anyway. Listen to Iron Maiden, die with your boots on. Die with your boots, man. Or ma'am, get your boots. Ride it out, because it's harder. If you really think about it, that's where we talk about the black boot and the white boot. But I'm not going to tell you about those boots right now. I'm going to tell you about jobs and how, as a CEO, my business is on the rocks. It's being dissolved right now. I never heard of MDES. I'm trying to get my third week waiting on the unemployment. And then we have to define employment. I said, well, is YouTube employment? Is this employment? I said, how much are you making? I said, man, it probably pulls in $1, $4 a month. There's nothing. There's nothing there. And nobody wants to watch it. And then it's like all they got to do is push the red button and say that guy's banned. And then the money disappears. And if you go in there and listen to one of my mentors, Dan Locke, the Asian, there's a tale of two Dans. Hey, buddy, hey, buddy. Yeah, give it. Hey, now. Yeah, there's a tale of two Dans. You got your British Dan, you got your Scottish Dan, I don't know. And then you got your Asian Dan, and he'll teach you about that, all about it. For me, it was about like redefining the workforce as a CEO. I wanted to come out here and I wanted to shake it up and I wanted to get big. I wanted to rock and roll. I wanted to build my own skyscraper. You know, this is Elvis Presley's town. This is Lee County, Mississippi. This is the birthplace of America's music. I mean, and when people are getting silenced, it really cuts my soul to ribbons and I can't take it. So what I decided was I wanted to either wait it out, see if we can't get these things going, because how it works is you end up going to the factories and proposing a great product idea. This is my dilemma. You're like, man, I got a game changer. We're fixing to disrupt industries. We're fixing to make millions, dude. We're fixing to rock it out. And you go down there with that attitude and they're like, oh, wow, another one of these. And ask you like, oh, son, what's your great idea? The immature entrepreneur that is not prepared for that is going to spill his guts. He's going to tell everybody everything. Because he's young, he's feeble, or she's young, she's feeble, she wants to go out and she wants to do this. And there are some great resources in town, but I felt like it was bullshit. Like, pretty much what wound up happening is, and I'm not saying that happens, but you have like millions of dollars of equipment just sitting out there. And then this guy has a great idea, and then I told him I got rid of the fear of the rich. I mean, or the hatred of the rich. I squashed all hatred, and I don't squash the haters, though. I'll tell you that. That's a spiritual quest. I'm not, as a man of hate, some say. That's why I was banned from some networks. I was what they called a man of hate. I decided I needed to work on myself, and this goes back, we're still kind of beating around that bush. Coming up from the bottom, and I think a lot of people will check out. They'll quit. They'll kill themselves before they win. And it goes back, I'm not even going to talk about the military, because I really love the soldiers. It's one of those things where my philosophy on psychological operations and doctrine has really changed, because I've been floored by some of this doctrine. And it's easy to go out there and try to save everybody, but sometimes you got to let them burn. Especially when they do you dirty time and time again. If you're coming up from the bottom, understand they don't want you to win. A lot of them. I think a lot of that's going to change, but you have to treat your intellectual property like it's gold. I mean, it is your family's lifeblood. It is your country's lifeblood. If you are not, every idea you think, and we're not going to get into the Jacob's ladder screwing into your fucking head, but they can possibly eavesdrop on your thoughts. You'd never think it's possible, but I'm telling you, these guys get down here to what they call the telephone. If you could ever even imagine that. They get down here to the telephone, and they lift up the receiver, and they start calling factories. That's what I've done. Or they start calling bankers. Or they start calling venture capitalists. You know, and they're out there. And they're out there, and then you know what happens. They look at this. They look at this, and they say, oh, we don't want that. I can't stomach a guy like that. He'll never make it. Well, when that one little segment holds all the money and all the resources, you're at their mercy. It's the same shit that we tried to escape from. If you believe the lie, and we came over here, you know, in the 1600s. We were supposed to escape that stuff. We're not escaping it. So every minute that I spend with you is hurting me. They steal my ideas. It's a labor of love. You find it appalling and obscene. I find it like people are sucking my blood. And I dealt with it. My naivety ran over. Now they're talking about putting a bullet in my head. And, it's nice to be low. I want you to think about that. But before I go, because we're almost out of time, I kind of want to drop the whopper on you. Where I am as a man, I'm 31. The sign 30 is supposed to live at 60, if I can. Probably die before that. But I need to do good deeds. And I'm wanting to do good work. And I don't want to define good work. You can go in there and listen. I did a lecture on work, or what I thought was good work. But you got to give stock options and perks. They say all the greatest CEOs, and I've come to find this out, they get a $1 salary a year. Everybody's like, man, this gives you $18 million bonuses and $30 million stock options. I'm not saying I would decline those options, but I've been abused. When you start talking about a $150 million project, it's scary. You got to have the right people up that are willing to take a risk on you, because they got to take a risk on you. And it comes right back to the human ethos, the caveman days, hunters and gatherers. And I think we've just kind of been perverted from that. Like we don't think that way anymore. It's turned into just some weird type of, people are going to either subscribe to the, mass media, or they're going to have to either MGTOW it if they're males, or I guess, I don't know what you'd call it for the women. I look at it like this. There's a lot of threats on the horizon. And if I'm not getting paid for my work, I'm working for the enemy. I don't like working for the enemy. If you believe in the soldiers, you believe in intellectual property, and you say, well, damn, all these things are coming in from different countries. I said, I don't hate other countries. I'm just saying that a lot of the things you're doing, you're leaking all the great information, and they're sucking you dry. I mean, if they keep looking in your eyes and they keep taking your stuff, there's going to come a day they're going to suck your soul. They're going to know every move you make before you make it, and you're done. You're doing their AI work for them. In the words of Musk, they say that humans are just biological bootloaders for AI, and he worries about that. I think he's a good guy. But just like all good guys that are up there, I don't know if Bezos is a good guy, but that was one of the corner cases that I had to deal with. As I said, there's abuse of the rich. A lot of people don't believe it. But it was brought to my attention when I was ready to go up there and kill these bastards that I might have been getting fake information. There could have been a rogue hacker. There could have been somebody out there that had hacked into the computer because of the scope of the data centers. And when I actually got education, God bless the Malin. If you'll check out David Malin, one of the coolest guys you'll ever see. And he teaches CS50. CS50 changed my life. And CS50 is the reason for these fucking devil horns, man. I'm in lamentation right now. Like, the country is evolving. It's 2020. It's even, and I think we can go. I'm not going to go into the other ones. They're kind of too holy to talk about, or sacred, I don't know, but it's moving. It can go up or down. It can go left or right. If you look in there into my cult section, I've got 16 hours of cult teaching, and I've also got the Mississippi Satanic Chapter, which is very hard. It is the Bible Belt, but I believe in the good Lord. I mean, I would say my right hand of the good Lord is I've never smashed no church windows. Never smashed no church windows, man. I mean, places of worship are places of worship, but, for a guy like me, I have to retreat, and I want to show you something that I'm working on. I think that I could potentially make money doing it by showing you, but I also feel like it's going to be vulnerable. And to my kids out there, try not to identify me as your father, but for your safety. But I want to teach you. It's not always about booze tube and this gore and the way I get in my darker phases. It's just I'm getting darker and darker every day, but I have a lot of light to give. And we've got a lot. I mean, the beauty is if you look at the country in this way, and not even just this country, but the world, don't look at the problems as things and let it consume your soul. Let's get rid of gas these problems, burn these problems. Look at these problems as opportunities. Look at them as jobs, if you may. And love your people. Love is huge, and nobody likes talking about drugs. I told them they're getting rigged up because of the food. They're not getting the drugs. So I'm looking for a job in the pharmaceutical, medical, which I hate medical. Never thought I wanted to do it until COVID come around and try to find a cure. But pharmaceutical, I used to be the DARPA guy, drugs and bugs. But we don't talk about that. It's the right drugs change everything. And we go back when our great president, he already signed. This was done over a year ago, I believe, the Right to Try Act. A lot of people, they're not. I don't know how it works down here because an executive order gets passed. Independent doctors and independent pharmacies are going to operate a little different. That's what bothers me is it's like, is the tail wagging the dog? Is anything, we signed this order. Is anybody trying to get it done? I went down there, and I've been going down there. And, I could raise a riot. Not that bad, but, to get it done, they won't. They're not equipped. I think it's in their legalese, pretty much. You go down there and you say, man, this is the Right to Try Act. I've done my homework. And I steal this idea. I really wanted to be the guy to do it, but oh my God. I don't know if I can say it. I said, we're going to have to wait. I told them the way they've done me is it comes into Stalinism. And they say, well, Tyler, what's up with the jobs? Why is it like this? I said, when you get ripped off and you get taken advantage of so many times, you decide, well, I'm a go-getter, I'm a hustler, I'm an entrepreneur, I'm a winner, but these people are out to get me, and they have all the cards, all the power. They're trying to tap into my mind, tap into my phone, tap into my soul. They're taproot. They don't need to pay me. I do all their R&D work for them. I'm in the weakest position, and then I think of a way to make money. That way I can take care of myself, and the hurdles are far too high. Like, if you don't have at least a few $100,000 to drop, and that's just starting. Some of the ones I spoke to, you're going to need at least $1 million. And that's where I said I started lifting my boot off of the rich. Because if you've got money, then everybody wants to take it. If you don't have money, well, they're just going to take advantage of you.